Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you are watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And it is again a brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer, along with the spooky month of October. And joining me today on this brand new episode is Forever Red Cosplays. How are you doing today, Red?
Doing great. How about you?
Hey, I'm doing awesome. Thank you so much for joining me up here on Who's That Cosplayer. I know that we've been trying to set this up for a minute, man, and it's just like, what better way to do it than to do it during the spooky month? So thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, definitely.
So before we get into today's interview, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. As D always says, podcast link down in the description. Like, follow, subscribe. So let's go ahead and get into this interview. So Red, again, like I said, thank you so much for joining me on a brand new Who's That Cosplayer. So something that I always do with every guest that we have here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks is I ask, what is your origin story? Every hero or villain has one. So tell everybody who Forever Red Cosplays is.
Well, it started out in 2014 when I went to my first convention, which was Tidewater Comic-Con.
Nice.
And going there, I saw all these people in cosplay and whatnot, and it's like, I want to do that. So that was sort of my venture into cosplay. And Halloween was always my favorite holiday anyways. So I was already doing costumes and all that beforehand. But after Tidewater Comic-Con 2014, that's when I really start bridging into doing cosplay as a hobby. And it was whenever there was a character I really wanted to portray, I did my best within what I had to create that. Yeah.
Nice. Now, you say 2014, because I remember when Tidewater Comic-Con first started. I want to say it was 2013, 2014, I want to say.
Maybe. I thought it was 20. I think it was 2014 when I went to it. I might be wrong on the exact year though. Sometime around there.
I think you're right, and like that's crazy that, you know, because if that was the first year that they had their con, because NecoCon had always been here in the area, but I remember when Tidewater Comic-Con first started. I do think it was either 2013 or 2014, but that's awesome that if it did start in 2014, that was your first con, then that was their first time actually having the con, and then the rest is history. Now, what's interesting about Forever Red Cosplays is how I came across his cosplay page was one of my friends. She had tagged me in one of his posts on Instagram, and you were cosplaying as the Red Ranger, the OG Red Ranger. I got to put some respect out there. You was cosplaying as the OG, and I'm not talking about Rocky. I'm talking about Jason. And I was just like, yo, like, this is dope. I followed you after she tagged me in it. And then I want to say I had became a fan because of, you know, all of the cosplays that or the costumes that you make, like you actually like make your own costumes. And, you know, that's one of the things that I love about cosplayers is, you know, because there's nothing wrong with purchasing the costumes, but I feel like it's a real unique skill to, you know, actually like take all of the time and energy to make your own stuff. So pinky's up for you for doing that, man.
I go back and forth. Sometimes I'll buy and then modify. Sometimes I'll just buy. Like this one was bought, but I modified. And then sometimes I'll go completely from scratch. It just depends on what's affordable for me. Yeah.
So I want to say, like, the first time I had actually saw you, you were cosplaying as SpongeBob SquarePants, and you know, I had saw you walking into NecoCon from a distance, but you know, I didn't say anything. And the first time I actually met you, it was at NecoCon. You were walking around as Peter Parker from SpiderMan 3, and I remember you were looking for somebody to record you because you wanted to do like the scene where it's like the elevator door opened up, and I was just like, hey, I know who you are. And you was just like, hey, do you mind recording me? And I was just like, oh snap, I can't believe I finally met you. But no, it was awesome. And I know that you're a huge advocate for Spider-Man 3. Like Spider-Man, like most of the cosplays that I've seen you do, like they've been the Spider-Man cosplays. But Spider-Man 3 is something that you've been pushing for. And I'm letting everybody know, like, he loves Spider-Man. But Spider-Man 3 is a film that he's been pushing for. He wants the Raimi cut of Spider-Man 3 to come out. So tell everybody this. Oh, go ahead.
That was mostly a joke on Release the Snyder Cut,
I
but
know.
there is actually a Randy cut out there, and I'm 100% for.
Oh, for real? I see. I didn't even
Yeah.
know that, but I like when I saw you saying that stuff, I was just like, well, wow. Like, I mean, if there is a Snyder cut that people are pushing for, maybe there is a Raimi cut. Because the thing is, Spider-Man 3, like watching it now, like when I watched it the first time, I wasn't a fan of it. But watching it, as getting older in life and whatnot, I didn't know what word I wanted to say. But like watching, I'm just like, oh, the movie, it's not that bad. I'm guessing that, back then I felt like after Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3 had to be huge. And in my opinion, it wasn't huge back then, but like watching it now, I'm just like, I mean, it's an all right movie. But if there is a Raimi cut out there, like I'd be all for it to see what's different. And, like you said, with the Snyder cut, I mean, like we saw what happened when the Snyder cut came out and like how much better.
Completely different.
Yeah, bro, it made the movie so much better. And don't get me wrong, like I thought that the first, the Whedon cut, I thought it was okay, but the Snyder cut was amazing, man.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, because like I said, you're a huge Spider-Man fan, and all of the Spider-Man cosplays that you've done, like which one do you like doing more? Do you like doing the red and blue outfit, or do you like doing the black outfit?
I'd say red and blue, and here's why. Actually, I have it right behind me, so I can just pull it up and show you.
Hey,
this took me 3 months to work on, but
you made that yourself?
Well, I got a suit that was printed, but I did all the work to puff paint it and actually make it movie accurate. Because they had the logo on the back from the first movie, but they had the logo originally on the front printed from the second and third movie. So when I did all this work to puff paint it, I first painted red over the original logo, and then painted all the webs over with puff paint, and then put the 2002 Spider on the front of it. Now, so you have a reference, a little figure from 2002.
Nice.
There's the chest, and then the fat spider on the back.
Nice. That's awesome, man. And see, and that's what I was talking about earlier by just how talented you are when it comes to making your own stuff, or like how you said, it's just like you purchase something and then you put your own spin on it, so that way it became unique and it was your own creation. Now let me ask you this: when whether it be cosplay or props, because I've seen you do that as well, like what was it that led to you wanting to create your own costumes and stuff like that, or going above and beyond to make it your own?
A lot of the characters I wanted to cosplay, if I were to actually like go out and buy it, I would have to spend a fortune, and I don't want to do that. So I thought, hey, why not I make it the best I can with what I got and what I can afford. So like with my 2017 Red Ranger suit, I went actually I can grab it real quick and show you while I'm explaining. I literally I got the original skin suit they sold for Halloween in 2017, and then I traced all the printed armor parts on here over foam, or did my best to imitate it, and then did all the armor portions here, and with duct tape, foam, and cardboard.
That's all. See, and everybody that's watching, man, like I want y'all, because I tell everybody to follow everybody that I interview anyways, but like I'm telling you, like this man, like he's talented. Like he said that he went to get the Red Ranger 2017 from the Power Rangers movie that should have got a sequel, because that movie was awesome. And he took the Halloween costume, and then he was able to add more to it, because like honestly looking at it, like that looks like it doesn't even look like it's a Halloween costume, you know what I'm saying? And that just goes to what I was saying earlier with just how talented you are in creating your own stuff. And I just love that, you know, you have all of these different versions of costumes. Like you have the Spider-Man costumes, you have the Red Ranger costumes, the OG Red Ranger, the 2017 costume. So let me ask you this: out of all of the costumes that you've done, which one is your favorite?
The 2017 Red Ranger.
That's your favorite costume that you've done?
Yes, but there's a reason. There's like a big, like, personal reason. So I've been a huge Power Rangers fan since the 90s, and I've been waiting for a big budget version of Power Rangers for like almost, let's see, since I first got into it, basically.
Yeah, I was about to say like forever.
Yeah, and the 2017 movie came out, and it blew my expectations.
Mm-hmm.
It was everything I wanted from a Power Rangers movie and more.
Yes, I agree.
And I grew attached to two particular characters in the movie, Billy and Jason. And I loved the journey those characters went through to become Power Rangers. And being someone with autism, I could identify with Billy's character very well, and certain aspects of Jason's character in the film. And I had sworn I would make a 2017 Ranger suit somehow. When after the movie had come out. Mm-hmm. And it took me, let's see, 17, 18, 4 years to figure out how to do it, right?
Nice.
And I finally did it, and now that I have red, blue is next. Like, not next just right now, but it's next sometime in the next year, like 2022. Nice. Yeah.
And I can't wait to see it. Yeah, man, I agree with you. Like that movie, like the expectations were, for me, like usually I like to set low expectations, but you know, after seeing you know, the images for the movie and the trailer and everything, my expectations were high. And then after I watched the movie, I loved how it was different, where they weren't friends, they didn't really know each other, and Billy was the heart of the team. Like Billy was the gum that held all of them together, man. And I thought that all of the actors and actresses in that movie did an awesome job. I thought it was sweet with the final battle at the end of the movie where they brought all the Zords together. And bro, I'm telling you, man. Go ahead.
I loved that the Megazord looked like a Jaeger from Pacific Rim.
It did. Yeah, it really did. And, you know, I'm just disappointed that we never got the sequel, because I remember they said that they were going to do a sequel to the film, and then like especially after the mid-credit scene where they showed that Tommy was going to be in the next film. And I remember like when I would talk with my friends about it, I'm just like, okay, so where are they going to go from here? Like, I mean, of course they can do the Tommy arc, but then it's like in the third movie, are they just going to jump straight to Zeo? And, you know, it's like there were so many possibilities, but I was just so disappointed that the movie didn't really perform that well in the box office, and it just got shelved.
Yeah.
And
what they were gonna do a sequel anyways, because the DVD sales of the movie were the highest sold out of everything that year. But then the licensing, because the rights transitioned from Saban to Hasbro.
That's right.
And the thing is, the movies, Turbo, Zeo, or Turbo, the 95 movie, and the 2017 movie, all are in a copyright lingo. Because Fox owns the Zeo and 95 film, and Lionsgate owns the 2017 film. Due to licensing aspects, they just couldn't do it.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting about you bringing up the 95 film and the Turbo film, like as a kid, like both of those movies were sweet, but watching them as an adult, like the 95 film, it's still good. It still holds up. But the Turbo film, like I don't understand like how when I was a kid, like I thought this movie was awesome, but then watching it as an adult, I'm just like, man, like this movie is horrible.
Turbo, I'll put it this way: I hate Turbo so much. People who complain about Batman versus Superman cannot compare to my hatred for Turbo.
Yeah, like Turbo is it's just crazy, man. Like, and when I would watch reviews, like a Nostalgia Critic, like when he was bashing the film, and I was just like, man, like how do I not remember any of this stuff? Like I don't know what they were trying to go for in this film. And I'll just say that the 2017 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers film, like that's the best Power Rangers
course.
live adaptation to ever come out, man, in my opinion. And
I agree.
there are some people that'll say that you know, that the 95 one is the best. And you know, I respect their opinion for saying that, because I mean, you had Ivan Ooze, you got the Flying Crows, you got the new Megazords, you got the ninja outfits. So it's just like the original. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like the 95 one was sweet. And do you remember that they had McDonald's had the Power Rangers toys? Do you remember that? Yeah, man. Yo, I remember I had the Falcon Zord, and I'm so mad that somebody stole it from me. Like kids, or not kids, but people that are watching this, if you have kids, do not let your kids take their toys to the YMCA or the Boys and Girls Club, because they will never see those toys again if somebody else gets their hands on it. And those, like, it was, bro, I'm telling you, it was awesome because everybody had one, and we used to try to act like we were forming the Megazords and stuff. It was fun times, man.
If you're looking for the 95 McDonald's toys again, because they still are pretty good for vintage toys now. They usually go for like 25 to 30 as a full set on eBay.
Oh, hey, I'm good.
Okay.
Hey, if I'm going to spend 25 to 30, it's going to be on, like, you know, what I got down here on my collection and whatnot. But
I always
eye
out for them though.
But
every time they're available, I just don't have the money for it.
and that's usually how it is, man. Even when you go to cons, man, it's just like, I remember because this Jotaro figure that I have up here, I went to Superstar Anime. Did you end up going to that con when it was here?
I went to 2019. Yeah, okay. I was the Rocketeer at it.
Nice. I went to the one that they had this year, and they had the Jotaro figure there. And I was just like, I'm just going to come back and get it. And when I went back to go get it, they had two of them. They were both gone. So I had to go all the way to the comic book store just to get this Jotaro, because I was just like, I really want it. So it's one of those things where it's just like, if you see something and it's available and you can get it, then just get it. Like, don't wait. Don't say, oh, I'll just come back for it, because somebody else will snatch it up. Now, I want to ask you, like, what are some of your favorite con moments that you've had since you've been cosplaying?
Okay. Well, there was definitely one that you helped with, NecoCon, when I did the whole. So, for full context, I was doing a skit merging the dance scene from SpiderMan 3 with the Joker dance down the stairs, and because that was the trend of the year, was Joker. So I did the stairs at NecoCon. You helped me with the elevator. So when I did the walking the elevator thing, turn around, the doors close on me. And then I had someone else help me film a scene of me doing the Tobey Maguire emo Peter Parker dance as I was going down the stairs.
Nice. Yeah.
Go ahead. That's
sorry.
One of them. Another would have to be. Otakon, actually. This past Otakon, like a few weeks ago, on Saturday night, I was the Red Ranger from the 2017 movie, and I had like lights installed into it and everything, and I had an amp and like a Bluetooth amp inside the chest, playing the soundtrack from the movie.
Nice. Who's that cosplayer?
Girl on Fire Cosplay.
And so I'm just walking through, and quite a few people actually recognized who I was, and saying like, "Dude, that deserved a sequel." I got several comments of that as I walked through, so that was a lot of fun. A pain to wear, but totally worth it. And third, I'd have to say, thinking back here. Get through NecoCon and all that. Oh, I'd have to say when I did Christopher Reeve's actually no. When I did the Shadow at GalaxyCon in 2020.
Nice. Now the Shadow, that was the movie when it came out, I want to say back in the 90s.
Yeah, 94 with Alec Baldwin.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know one of the Baldwins was in it. I've never seen that movie, but I remember the toys that came out that year. And I always wanted to see that movie so bad because wasn't there a video game that came out too, or a cartoon or something?
There was a video game, but it never got released because the movie flopped.
Yeah, okay. But see, you know, as a kid, like you see stuff like that and you're just like, man, like I want to see it because there was something that was similar to The Shadow. I believe it was called something with the soul, like Samuel Jackson was in it. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Samuel Jackson.
He was the bad. I think he was like the octopus.
Oh, the spirit. The spirit.
There we go. Thank you.
That's one of those bad movies I absolutely love.
Yeah,
it has one of my favorite lines of dialogue, or wit exchange between two characters. When Sam Jackson shoves a toilet onto him and then shouts, "Why aren't you laughing? I thought toilets are always funny." Yeah.
Yeah, man. I feel like I don't know why that movie didn't do that good because I know that they were trying to go off of what is the other film that's in black and white? Sin City. Those were the type of vibes that I had got from that movie, but I know it came out in 2008.
The Spirit, it came out literally on like a weekend that literally no one goes to see movies, if I'm correct. Yeah. It was like the very, very last weekend of December. And then also no one's ever heard of The Spirit.
Exactly.
So it doesn't have brand recognition to push it.
Well, see, I feel like The Spirit would be one of those films where it's kind of like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, because when that movie came out, nobody went to go see it. But then it became popular and a cult classic because of DVD sales and stuff like that. Now everybody loves Scott Pilgrim. Did that ever happen with The Spirit as well? Like, did it ever get a cult following?
It has a cult following, but a very, very low cult following. It's like one of those things that people like, but they acknowledge it's bad.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. Just like The Room, for example.
It's not the Room of superhero movies, basically.
Oh, for real? Nice.
Yeah.
So now let me ask you this: when you're not cosplaying, like, what are some of your hobbies that you're into? What do you like to do?
Oh, I draw. In fact, actually, I drew this last night.
Nice. Let me see it. Now who is that?
This is a character from the Japanese film Space Battleship Yamato, which is a live-action adaptation of a popular anime from Japan of the same name.
Okay, I think I remember that.
Yeah, it's my favorite anime and one of my favorite live-action movies, and it's one of my favorite Japanese films, actually. It's nice. Very well done. But I was drawing. I do a lot of drawing. Aside from that, I collect action figures. And I used to build Legos. I got to get back into that. But yeah, I'm a hobbyist, basically. I draw, do art, and collect stuff I like.
Nice. Hey, and like I feel like that's living the life, especially if you know how to draw. Like I've seen some of your drawings on your Instagram, and I've seen them on Facebook as well. And like you're really good, man. Wasn't there one that you drew? I don't know if you drew it or not, but it was, or it probably was a meme that you created where it was a SpiderMan, is a JoJo spider. It was a JoJo reference or something.
Yeah, I did a few of those. I started drawing like scenes from the Raimi Spider-Man trilogy in the JoJo art style.
And
there was one I did of emo Peter Parker, and his stand was the black suit Spider-Man. And then I did another one where I used an image of I can't remember his name, but he was the weird chef whose stand was basically.
I can't remember what his name is either.
Yeah.
And Part 4 is my favorite.
Yeah, I used an image reference of him and drew Mr. Aziz, the pizza boss guy that was Peter's boss. Yeah. And I had him holding the Joe's pizzas and shouting "Go" to Peter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Oh yeah, and then I didn't mention this yet, but the other big hobby I do is video editing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, speaking of video editing, I mean, like that's something that I do here when it comes to like all of our YouTube videos and stuff like that. And, you know, that can definitely take a long time. Like there's times where I'm editing videos and it's crazy because like the video could be 30 minutes, but it's taking me like 2 hours sometimes to edit stuff. Like if you ever want to edit videos, everybody that's watching, just know that you have to be patient, and it is definitely time consuming, and you don't want to be on your phone. You don't want to be distracted, because the faster that you can get it done, then the better that you can relax, because that's just how it is. Like, so there's nights where like we record 3 or 4 videos and I'm just like, oh God, now I got to edit all 4 of these videos and put them on YouTube.
It's easy for me because I do fan editing. I'm like part of the fan edit side of YouTube, mostly like fan-made movie trailers, anime music videos, stuff like that. Nice. Yeah. So I use existing footage from movies and stuff I like and try to get artsy with it, essentially.
Nice. Now I wanted to ask you too, and this goes back to cosplay. Like, how long does it usually take you when it comes to creating your own stuff?
Let's see. The Ranger suit took almost a month. The Beancaster cosplay, which I showed you today, which is that took about, let's see, I started that 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so that took 2 weeks to finish.
That one looks pretty dope too.
Yeah,
I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, it's on the screen in the back. But yeah, he just made that today, and it looks awesome, man. Yeah,
that character was from one episode of season 2 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. He was a monster of the week, basically. His whole thing was he was like this weird microphone, this guy with a microphone head and a Japanese traditional clothing, and he basically mind controls people to be Lord Zed's minions with this fishing pole wand thing. And and so you can actually, my voice actually projects through the head also. So nice. I'm actually currently working on developing a sort of radio announcer voice, because his character has he talks like his voice is like that of like an infomercial radio broadcast voice.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like, with somebody as talented as you, I know that you'll be able to knock it out like that. I mean, like when I think of something like that, I think of like they have the Darth Vader voice box that you can talk through and whatnot. So that's going to be interesting to see it, like once you do it and you put the video out there and it sounds like it's a radio infomercial commercial. I think that'll be really dope. Yeah. So what was the question I was going to ask you next? So because this is the spooky month and, you know, we're into the Halloween theme and stuff like that, and you already mentioned that, you know, Halloween has always been one of your favorite months. Like, what are some things that you like to do during this month?
Halloween parties, costume contests, make more cosplay.
Nice. And that's one of the things that I love about Halloween parties is showing up with a unique costume, because I mean, with being a cosplayer, it's kind of like it goes hand in hand. But I feel like when you're a cosplayer, I feel like you go more in depth and go all out when it comes to doing your costume, instead of just going with the traditional Halloween costume. Like last year, I went as the Thing for Halloween, and I combined Ben Grimm the Thing with the Thing, not the Halloween movie, but the Thing horror movie, because that's one of my favorite horror movies. And you know, I just thought it was just a unique creation. So like, what are some of your favorite horror movies that you like to watch during the month of October?
The original 1954 Godzilla.
Okay.
Pretty much pretty much most of the old Toho giant monster horror films, like War of the Gargantuas, Attack on Titan, the live action film. I love that one. I think that's, I'm not really a fan of the anime or the manga. I'm mostly just into giant monster stuff in general.
So you like kaiju?
Yeah, I love kaiju movies, and that so I'm saying that for reference because a lot of people usually cringe when you mention that movie, but
Yeah,
I watched it from the perspective of a Toho kaiju horror film. I didn't have any influence from the source material when I watched it.
Sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So I went into it completely blind. So that's one of my favorite horror films to watch in October is Attack on Titan. Let's see what else outside of the monster genre. Dr. Sleep.
Ooh, that's a really good. Now, I watched that for the first time last year. Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. Was the first time I watched it, and I also too The Shining, because it's like I had seen bits and pieces of The Shining, but I had never watched it all the way through. And I finally watched The Shining, and then I watched Dr. Sleep. And it's crazy because you have some people who like The Shining more. Then you have some people, and I still need to watch the other Shining, because there was another Shining that had came out that was Stephen King, that it was more closer to the story that he wrote compared to this. Stephen King, he did The Shining, correct?
Yeah, he wrote it. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure because I was having a brain fart, but I know that he wasn't a fan of the Jack Nicholson Shining, so that's why they came out with another one, and I still have to watch that. But Dr. Sleep was just awesome, especially the director's cut. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
Yeah, bro, the director's cut. Oh my God, it was so good. Like that's definitely something that I'm going to put on this month. The Thing is something. I mean, it's so good to just watch horror movies every single day. Like I watch horror movies anyway, but there's just something about the month of October where it's just like I have to make sure that I have to watch something every single day, and it doesn't matter if it's an animated film, a live action film. Like last year too, I put on Scooby-Doo, not the 13 Ghosts. It's the Scooby-Doo movie where he goes to the all girls camp, the Ghoul School. There we go.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's a classic, man. Like when I was a kid, I loved I loved watching that movie. And also too, Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf. That's another good one, man. So for Halloween, like, do you already have your costume set up for what you're gonna do? Or
oh yeah, I'm going to a block party with my boyfriend, and nice. I'll be cosplaying Beamcaster, and hopefully he's gonna be doing the Red Ranger. So he's gonna do like that whole Hail Lord Zed thing, and while I'm waving the wand in front of him.
Awesome. So you just mentioned your boyfriend. So
yes.
Is he a cosplayer as well?
Kinda. He's done CL Phantom Hive from Black Butler.
Nice.
He used to do a lot like a few years ago. He's gotten back into it since we started dating.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I always feel like that's cool when you're with somebody that you can do cosplay together with, because it's just an awesome feeling. I mean, and it's nothing against people who don't want to cosplay, because I do know that there's some people, it's like where they support what their partner does, and they'll just come to the cons. But I just think it's awesome because it's like you can do cosplay couple stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do couple characters and stuff like that. So that's one of the things that I also love about cosplay. And that's one of the things I love about talking to people and interviewing people on Who's That Cosplayer, because it just shows everybody like who they are, and it gives them inspiration to either get into cosplay themselves or just see who other cosplayers are. So last question that I have for you, and we can wrap this thing up. To anybody that wants to get into cosplay, what is some advice that you would give to them?
I'd say first, know what character you want to do. Second, don't be afraid to get creative with cheap stuff. Any cosplay is a good cosplay. Just figure out, don't try to overspend or go over your budget. There's always a way you can make it with just stuff laying around your house, for example.
Nice.
Yeah, so my advice is choose a character, then think through all the possible ways you can do it, and do the one that's the smartest way to do it, that doesn't disadvantage you in any way.
Awesome. And I think that those are good words to live by to anybody that wants to get into cosplay. So I just want to say thank you again, Forever Red Cosplay, for joining me on a brand new Who's That Cosplayer. And before I let you go, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
Let's see. On Instagram, I am at forever_red_cosplays. Actually, I'm going to write this down and show it up on the screen just that way everyone gets the spelling right for all this stuff. Okay. On Facebook, I am Kenny Hodgins. And on Twitter, I am at Daily Power Rangers.
Nice.
I'm going to write that down now. So that way y'all can find me at forever_red_cosplays. And if you want to, you can link my stuff in the description too.
Oh yeah, it'll be there. Cool. I'm gonna edit all this part out, and so that way when you have everything written down, you can just have it up on screen. All right.
Sounds good.
All right.
In Insta FB. Okay. Is that visible?
I can kind of see it.
Here, let me try Sharpie real quick. I'll write it in Sharpie. That should be easier.
Well, no, I mean, I think you should be good because you already said everything, and then, like I said, like all of your links, they'll be in the description, and I'll be able to.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I'll be able to get everything and put it in there. So yeah, you're good to go. So okay, so yeah, I'll start over with me. Because what was the one thing you said? You said Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah, Instagram,
Facebook.
Twitter, and Facebook.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and YouTube. YouTube, it's Spec Spider Ken.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then thank you again for joining me up here. And you already know where you can find me, your hero Benjamin Banks at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. And you can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again, everybody, for watching a brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer. Make sure you check out some more of our interviews that are here on the channel. Make sure you check out our reaction videos and our reviews on other stuff as well. Podcast with brand new episodes every Tuesday and the video of that episode on YouTube that Friday. Make sure you stay safe this month, and make sure if you go out trick-or-treating or if you go to any parties, make sure that you stay 6 feet apart from everybody and you mask up. With that being said, keep that pinky up, stay positive. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.